You're listening to KOUG Radio. Listen live online at KOUGradio.org.
Hello, welcome back to Earworm, episode 4.
Video game bugs, but not like that.
Yeah, we're talking about video game insect enemies, like bugs and creatures that you fight.
Which was hard to research because every time you looked up video game bugs, it would only be glitches.
I know, I feel like I looked up video game bugs a couple times for different games, and it just always came up with like things that are wrong with it.
The funniest glitches compilation of this game.
Exactly. And then eventually I saw somewhere like, this insect is a hard fight. And I was like, oh, maybe I should use the word insect
I did that
instead. Too. So I think it worked out. But would you like to start us off with your first video game bug enemy?
I want to talk about head crabs from Half-Life. I did not play Half-Life personally. It's a great game. It's a great game. I watched my brother play the entirety of Half-Life 2. Like,
so you know the...
I know the gist.
You know what happens.
Every time he sat down to play, I would just kind of also sit there. This was... I don't even know.
Half-Life 2 long
this was
game?
years ago. Yeah, it's pretty long.
Jeez.
But I would sit there and I'd watch.
It's like a movie to you.
Yeah.
Although video games are a lot longer than movies because you have to interact with it. You know,
Yeah.
you have a lot of the between times when it comes to fights and stuff.
Those loading screens.
I guess that depends on the game you're playing.
Like, you can't speed run a movie, but you can speed run.
I think speed running a movie is just turning up the
fast
speed
forward
that it's at. Yeah.
But head crabs. So they're the silly guys. They look like a shower cap with legs.
Yes.
And then on the bottom, they've got those big mouths. They stick on your head, suck your life.
Did you ever play?
Bing bong.
Did you ever play Metroid?
Oh, I played. That's a good one. I played. What's the? It's not Prime. Dread. I played Dread. That game is really good.
Okay, because the head crabs always kind of reminded me
of the Metroids.
Yeah, the Metroids, but with legs.
Yeah, they stick on your head.
You know, they're kind of a mix between Metroid and the Flood from Halo.
I don't know anything about. We'll get into Halo later.
Yeah, we'll get into Halo later. Halo's my favorite.
But I love these little guys. They jump very far. It was when I was doing research on them. The wiki had like weirdly specific information on them. Like it said they're approximately 8.5 pounds and they can jump 10 feet at a time. It's like, why? I don't need to know how many pounds it is. Also, that's kind of heavy.
Yeah. For
a little guy that can fit on your nog.
There's a lot of things that kind of surprise you about video game creatures.
Do you think baby head crabs go for babies or adults?
Maybe they just go for anything with like a small head.
That's a good point.
They see a possum and they just latch onto it.
No head crab. The ultimate head crab defense. Have a big head.
What do head crabs target? Like
people.
Is it because like just of the head?
No, it's because they can turn them into zombies.
Oh.
And humans have the highest intelligence. So they can access...
but zombies don't.
No, well, they can... They're not really zombies. They're called something else. But the head crab goes on their head and it attaches to their brainstem. Mm-hmm. It doesn't like infect them with anything, but it can control them from their brainstem. So if you did that with like a cat, yeah, you could move it, but cats have a lower functioning brain than we do. And that's why they target people.
I see. That makes sense. I feel like a lot of video games, especially ones within the zombie world, they're trying to move to a more scientific approach to zombies.
Like The Last of Us.
Yeah, like The Last of Us. It's all, it's fungus that infects your brain and takes over.
Like
slowly.
The Walking Bad was just The Walking Bad.
The Walking Bad.
We need
some bad walking.
Mr. White, brains, bitch. Sorry, Mom.
I would love to see that crossover. That would be
That'd
great.
be pretty funny. But they turn the people into zombies, which I actually wrote down is similar to the way that zombies function in The Last of Us, but those aren't bugs, so we don't care.
Yeah, it's a fungus, right?
You can tame in game the scientist that helps you. I don't remember his name. All I know that he says is Dr. Gordon. That's all I know of him. But
his whole character.
Yeah, pretty much. He has a pet one.
He's a pet head crab?
Yeah, and the reason
just follow him around?
Yeah,
Is he never worried about it? Like
No. The reason he has it as a pet is because he took its beak out. He debeaked it. He cut the beak out of the head crab and then like nursed it back to health, I guess, after mutilating it. And then
I don't want this head crab's just kind of chill with it.
No, it gets on his head and sucks on his head.
It's like a pacifier.
Yeah. But also,
is he just okay with that too?
yeah,
Just like,
it's named something.
and he's like, oh, this is
Lamar. His name is Lamar,
the head crab.
and he loves watermelons. That was in the wiki. I thought that was so funny.
You see, when you get to these really high profile video games or ones that become really successful, there's not always, I mean, sometimes there is, but there's not always a lot of thought put into the actual details of the certain parts of the game. And then when it becomes really popular and people start asking questions about it because it's, they're more involved with it, a lot of the times the devs are just kind of,
I don't know, I guess there are this many pounds and could do
and then
yeah.
everyone's like, write that down.
Well, it's funny because like the pounds and the foot jump, like the pounds I don't think was mentioned in game. The jumping was, but the watermelon thing was mentioned in game because the guy who has them was like, Lamar loves watermelons or something. He like has a voice line about it, which is so funny. But he's neat. I think the head crabs are really cool. They're little, they super are inspired by other stuff like Metroids, but they also later inspired a lot of other, like,
really,
yeah, a lot of other games. So in Subnautica,
I love
Subnautica, they have cave crawlers, which look similar to head crabs. They got a big eye on their head, but they got a mouth underneath. They got 4 legs, very similar.
Yes.
They also jump. They also eat people. But they obviously you can't tame those. They're just a nuisance. But it's kind of interesting because
the ones from Subnautica too, they're really skinny.
Yeah, they are. They're more crab-ish than the actual head crabs.
They are. They kind of remind me. There's a Pokemon that looks a lot like them.
Surskit.
Is it that one? It's blue and it has a little, yeah.
Surskit.
They look a lot.
We'll
like
get to
Surskit.
Pokemon later too.
I know Pokemon has a lot of bugs.
Yeah, it does. Oh yeah, and so for the head crab, I kind of wanted to talk about how he debeaked it. How a lot of people will do that with animals that they also domesticate. Like people will try to defang snakes or defang tarantulas.
Or they like to declaw something.
Yeah, declaw cats, take the stinger off of scorpions. But a lot of the time it's like actually genuinely extremely crippling to the animal.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's like, I feel like it'd be the equivalent of taking off the tip of someone's finger.
It is for cats declawing.
Yeah, because they use that a lot for balance and stuff, right? A lot of pressure.
And then for scorpions and tarantulas, it's like that's how they kill and eat their prey. Like they suck through their fangs, tarantulas.
They do?
Yeah. So I feel like Lamar can't eat watermelons if he was defanged.
Well,
But
I mean, it's like,
maybe
imagine that you took all the teeth out of someone's mouth.
Oh, they can still, yeah.
They just kind of gum on it, yeah.
But I thought that was interesting that there's kind of a relation there between real life and video game.
What was the guy's name? The scientist?
I don't know. Scientist from Half-Life 2 with the head crab.
We'll call him scientist number 1. Do you think scientist number 1 or Lamar like scientist number 1? Or do you think he hates him?
I think he's
Because obviously it seems like the head crabs have some sort of sentience to them.
They're somewhat intelligent. Bugs can be intelligent, like mantises are super intelligent.
Yeah, they're smart. Mm-hmm. Well, that makes sense. I mean, look at them. Do you think that the cooler something looks, the smarter it is? Because mantises look pretty cool.
I think humans look really not cool in the grand scheme of like.
Okay, maybe if you take them and you put them on a platter, but if you look at them doing stuff, then they can look pretty cool.
Dogs can't do a kickflip. That's all. So apparently his name is Dr. Kleiner, and he has the head crab.
I'm still stuck on the kickflipping dog. That's what I want to see. They need to make a
that would
game
be
about
amazing.
That. You know the skate games, how they import other characters? Like I saw one where they imported Link from Legend of Zelda and had him skateboarding around the Ocarina of Time version of Kakariko. No, was it Kakariko Village?
I don't know.
It was the forest where all the little tree people.
Yeah.
I forgot their name. But anyway.
The Koroks.
The Korok. No, not the Koroks. It's from Ocarina of Time, so it's like the children. It's not the the tree people. But it'd be really funny if they had a skate dog.
That'd be great.
Because can you imagine doing all these flips and tricks and stuff, and you're just a dog?
That'd
you're
be
all
so
4
good.
legs. Just
there's a game where you can.
along.
It's called Skatebird. You're a bird and you skateboard.
Yeah, but birds have an unfair advantage.
They can fly.
They can fly.
Yeah.
They hop and then they just kind of flap their wings. They can grab the board and just do.
That'd be so sick, though. If I saw an eagle do a kickflip, I would be impressed.
Would you give him anything?
Yeah, I'd give him like a fish.
A fish?
Yeah.
How much trouble would you go to give this eagle a fish?
I actually don't do this, by the way. I was staying in Oak Harbor, which is by Whidbey Island, and we were staying with a family who regularly crabbed, regularly fished, and all along they lived on the beach, but it was like a rocky beach.
Whoa, that was
every time that they made like fish and stuff, when they'd have the leftovers or like the heads of the fish they wouldn't eat, they would literally ring a bell. The eagle would come and they'd throw the fish in the air and the eagle would catch it and fly away.
Oh, so they've done this a few times.
Yes. I didn't witness it. I think the eagles were just not with it that day. I don't know. But
on vacation.
Yeah, they told me about it and I'm like, that's kind of amazing.
That's pretty cool. I mean, I guess the eagles are just getting a free snack out of it.
Yeah.
You know? They're like, we would dive down normally and grab something out of the water. So now it's just someone's giving it to us.
Yeah, man.
But that's really cool. I wonder how many times they had to do that before the eagles picked up on it.
Eagles are smart.
I know, but do you think there was a couple times where they threw it up in the air and just kind of dropped back down to the deck? And
definitely.
They kind of just looked at it. Whoa, maybe we'll try again.
Definitely.
But because you can do that with a lot of wildlife. Wildlife is pretty. I mean, it's not trusting.
I don't want to reveal too much information by what I'm about to say, but there is a particular person who comes into the pet store that I work at, and she buys like 30 feeder mice live and feeds them to owls in her backyard. But she does this like weekly.
Really?
Like she buys so many mice and feeds them all to the owls like weekly.
That's, I mean, how long has she been doing it since years?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe she's built up a pretty.
Oh, the
maybe
owl
there's so many owls?
like come to her.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you think that there's so many owls in her backyard that she's scared that if she stops, they'll attack?
No, there's just one owl in his family.
He's just big.
Yeah, he is.
He's a really big owl.
We were talking about bugs. Now we're talking about owls. But so the head crabs, the cave crawlers, all that. In Subnautica, there's also like little bugs, like rock grubs that light up and stuff. But they're just kind of like bioluminescent worms. And then there's also the rock puncher, who's similar to a lobster-ish mantis shrimp kind of situation, who punches the rocks, and he's pretty cool. It reminds me kind of like a woodpecker.
Is this also in
Subnautica?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought so.
And there's
Wait,
also
the rock puncher. I don't remember him.
He's in the DLC.
Is that for Zero?
Yeah, Below Zero.
Okay, I never really touched Below Zero.
That's fair.
That much.
I liked a lot of parts of it, but it's not as good as the first game.
Well, yeah, when you hear about Subnautica, you don't hear about, Subnautica 2 was really good.
It's okay.
Because, I mean, there's things where you know which game is the most popular and which one's probably the best one, just based off of how much the community
like how many people talk about Half-Life 2 versus Half-Life 1.
Exactly. And Halo 2 and 3 compared to the rest of them. But no, that's fair. I really liked Subnautica. The whole, I mean, I don't know if it was the first one to do this, but the whole underwater part of it really was really cool. Because then a lot of games try to move away from like 2D movement, which is just like on the ground or climbing up stuff. I guess climbing would be a part of 3D, but like true 3D, now you can go forward, backward, left, right, up, down. And Subnautica made it so you can really go up, down.
Do that.
And it's a time sensitive event as well.
It's so good. Subnautica is such a good game.
Yeah.
It's like, it's either my favorite game or my second favorite game.
It's definitely up there for me, but I don't think I played enough anymore.
It's so good.
I feel like when I was playing Subnautica is about the same time I got around in, or the set. Well, that's not true, because I bought it when it was really
I bought
new.
it in early access as well.
Yeah, it's like you would go around. There was like 3 different fish, and then you go and the world just drops off, and there's all these just totally empty cave systems that they would later use. I remember finding my way down there, and it was horrible because you have no idea where you are because there's no indicators because the map hadn't been made yet. That was a lot of fun. I forgot where I was going. Oh yeah, no. When I was getting really back into Subnautica is about the same time I started playing Dying Light.
Oh.
Have you played Dying Light?
I have not.
It's kind of on the theme of zombies, about what we were just talking about, but it's actual zombies, and it's funny because it's one of the, I feel like a lot of games call things zombies, but a lot of popular media, they try not to use the word. I don't know if it's copyrighted. Like The Walking Dead uses walkers.
I don't think the word zombie in that way is copyrighted. I just think they want to separate themselves.
Yeah. Do you think it'd be better if they used the word zombie?
Zombie's kind of a silly word.
Yeah, when you think zombie, you think of
When I
like Plants vs Zombies.
yeah, I do exactly what I also think about the Disney Channel original movies, Zombies 1, 2, and 3.
I had no idea about.
Awful films. I was forced to watch them when I was babysitting.
I get you. I gotcha.
Yeah.
But no, it's like The Walking Dead uses walkers. The Last of Us uses infected.
Mhm.
I think they just say infected. I mean, they're kind of a different thing, but
Yeah.
it's around the same premise. But no, in Dying Light, they just say zombies.
That's so great.
And they say it all the time, and it's so much fun. I mean, I think they say infected. They kind of throw that in too, but then like the main character, I think, says zombies more than anyone else. And it's
That's
just so
great.
much fun to listen to them because yeah, I could rant about how good Dying Light is. But let's get back
To bugs in
to
video
bugs
games.
in video games. I don't think there's any bugs in Dying Light that we can talk about. You know what game there is a lot of bugs in?
That you love, that you won't
I-
ever stop talking about.
No, it's not Halo.
Oh,
We can talk about Halo.
We
There is one specific bug in Halo that comes to mind. I mean, there's probably more. It's, mirroring this universe in our world and beyond and whatnot. So there's probably a lot of others. But there's one bug that you encounter a lot in Halo, and that they're called drones. That's their nickname. Their official name is the Yanma'e.
oh, this man is using fancy language.
They're really interesting. They are probably one of the most annoying things to fight in the game because not only are they one of the most quick enemies, but they have access to that 3D movement range.
Yeah,
There's a lot going on.
there is
over the
something
next,
going on in this
there's
building
some
currently.
type of kerfuffle going on.
It's the Yanma'es.
But anyway, these things, they're organized in the Covenant, which if you haven't played Halo, it's like the main enemy of the majority of the games. They kind of move away from it in the later 2 or 3, getting more into the Forerunner stuff. But for the main trilogy, it's the Covenant. And they're kind of used as they're the aerial ground troops,
Yeah.
And they're really obnoxious because they have that 3D movement. They have weapons that are, they're not as great, so you don't have to worry about them as far as firepower goes, but they're always in a huge, huge number. And that's because in the Halo universe, they are a hive mind type creature, which is really interesting because how the Covenant, which is the big baddie of the Halo universe, it's made up of different species. And the Yanma'e is one of the only ones that doesn't have really like kind of true sentience. They have forms of sentience, they have to a certain degree, but they have a queen and then they kind of go off a hive mind. So they're kind of hard to control, and the Covenant know that, but they're really good for certain things, and so they keep using them.
I'm looking at pictures of them right now.
They're funny.
They're pretty neat.
Yeah, I think so. The
They're pretty silly.
creators actually pulled a few things from real life bugs. I know it's hard to imagine basing a video game bug off of
A real life
real
bug.
bugs, but I believe that the word Yanma'e means, what does it mean? It means something along the lines of mosquito, I think.
Did you say mosquito?
Did I say mosquito?
I think you said mosquito.
Mosquito. No, it's mosquito. Let me look it up real quick because it's really they pulled from a few different things. Like they pulled their hive mind kind of function from ants. They based their look and name off of mosquitoes and their general appearance, like kind of their legs, a little bit more off bees. And they kind of took all these things together and they brought them into these really annoying things. So look at the pictures of them and tell me, how big do you think that they are? He
looks pretty chunky. He looks like the average human size.
Average human size?
Which is like, I don't know, 6 foot.
6 foot. That's actually a pretty good pretty good guess, yeah. Because in the wiki they're between 5'10" to 6'9".
So they're all taller than me.
Yeah, exactly.
That sucks.
So can you imagine, aliens invade? But then this big old bug flies up to you and is just all up in your grill. And he's
way
and he's
bigger
taller
than
than
you.
you. And he's taller than you. I mean, he's a lot thinner and he's a little bit different shaped. But, he's all up in your business. But
I'd
how
be
would you
scared.
react?
I would scream.
You'd scream.
I'd get out the raid, the bug spray.
The bug spray?
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because
Farmers, if there is a bug alien apocalypse, dude, farmers are set. They got insecticides for days. They will have no issues.
I think if there's a bug alien that invades, well, first off, aliens invade in general, I think we're kind of done.
Yeah.
I think that we
I'd
have
agree
a
with
very
that.
low chance, especially if we're still on just Earth when it happens. You know, we're not making it out of that one. But if it's bugs and they don't utilize technology that well, I think we have a really good shot, because, you know, what do bugs hate? Fire.
That's true.
What do humans love?
Fire, dude.
Fire. We brought the flamethrower into the world.
We certainly did.
It's beautiful. Elon Musk tried to bring it back too. I really wish I would have gotten one of those, but at the same time, it's like, what would I have used it for? You know?
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know. Fun.
Fun. Yeah. Anyway, back to the Yanmei.
Yeah.
Cool thing about it, they fly.
Mm-hmm.
Naturally, they can't fly.
Oh.
They have to utilize anti-gravity technology.
They got little jetpacks on.
Yeah, it's really funny because can you imagine, you have to, like, you choose the species because it has this capability that you can utilize to improve combat or whatever, but then you have to give it something that
to do with that thing.
I mean, that makes sense, but at the same time, it's like, I feel like you're taking,
come on, man,
you know,
just kind of like try a little harder.
Yeah, like 2 steps forward and 1 step back.
Yeah.
It's like, is it really that worth it? But no, they use them a lot for grunt work. They have one kind of funny animation that they took out of the games, but it has, the animation was the Yanmei, a drone. It flies up to a marine, and he picks him up and just like flies away with him. And that happens in the books. I would highly recommend reading the Halo books because I love them. But in the books, that type of stuff, when the Yanmei are brought up, happens like all the time.
They just get picked up and carried away all the time.
Like taken away.
It's like when we tried to do that AI picture of Morgan Freeman getting carried away by an eagle, and it didn't work.
It didn't work. It just kept on giving him like Morgan Freeman looking cool with an eagle somewhere around him. And then it gave us one where it was, here's Morgan Freeman, there's an eagle. The eagle's head is also Morgan Freeman's head.
Oh, it was good.
I
dude.
love AI art. It's so funny. There's always something about it though that you can tell it's AI. There's
always something a little off.
It's like the lighting of it and just how smooth things look, and a lot of the times the style. I mean, if you look at a lot of hands, they've gotten better about it, but a lot of AI hands that are made, they look awful.
They're bad.
There's like 8 fingers where the fingers are merging together. So that's kind of a giveaway.
The palm is a finger. Yeah,
stuff like that.
Like
but
from Spy Kids, the finger guys.
What are
the thumbs? Thummies? What are they called?
It's like
Thummy sounds like a slur. Thumbus?
Thumbus?
I think it might be Thumbus.
Let me look it up. Some guys from Spy Kids, what are they called? Thumbs.
Thumbs. What a good movie.
Spy Kids?
Yeah.
Oh god.
It's a good movie.
It looks like there's a little bit, there's a Spy Kids TV show.
What?
Yeah, it's animated. And it has the thumbs, and they look worse than they did.
That is not possible.
I'm telling you, look at it.
Oh, yep, they look a lot worse.
It's like more humanoid.
Squishy.
Yeah, I don't like it. He has little gravity boots on. That's kind of funny. Spy Kids was a masterpiece.
It was really good.
That was
Steve Buscemi in the second one. He says, what does he say? He said, "Do you think God stays in heaven because he too fears what he's created?"
Yeah.
In Spy Kids 2, the rawest line in cinema.
Well, have you ever thought about how in Spy Kids, I mean, if you look at these, they're not, but they're kind of a dumpster fire of a movie just because of their quality and some of the writing. And I mean, that writing was beautiful. But then they have all these like really intense moments.
Yeah, they do.
And they have all these super high profile actors throughout all of the movies. And it's like,
so good.
Why?
They
apparently,
got what's his name for the third one?
Oh, Sylvester Stallone.
That and
George Clooney.
No.
I'm listening to a lot.
Elijah Wood. He played the guy in Spy Kids.
The best part about that was they have a guy. He shows up. I'm the guy.
And immediately he gets vaporized.
He dies.
I love Spy Kids. While we're on the topic of movies, when we were talking about bugs and video game bugs and everything, I couldn't help but be reminded of Wreck-It Ralph, the bugs in that game.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say what you think I'm gonna say because I see your face.
Okay. Just continue then. Yeah.
It was cool because they had like they had the function where whatever they ate they became.
That
And
was
I thought that was really
cool.
cool. And I was like, first of all, that's just Kirby. Second of all, why isn't that like used in like a game?
Do you know how
with
hard that would be
bugs?
to make?
Yeah. It'd be so cool.
I mean,
though.
I guess you could just limit the amount of things that they're able to eat and, you know, find use in.
And then they lay a bunch of eggs and it's cool. Cybugs, that's what they were called.
Is that really what they're called?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They were cool.
They were really cool. It's a really cool idea for it is just Kirby. I
Yeah.
mean, can you imagine? No wonder that world was kind of screwed. It's like getting invaded by a bajillion Kirby's. And I don't think anyone
What
could survive
power do you
that.
think Kirby would get if he ate you?
Oh man, I don't want to think. That's gonna get me sad.
What?
He's gonna get something really
Depressing.
Yeah, like I would see a simulation of this and Kirby would eat me and then it'd be like he just kind of sits down and looks at the floor.
Aww. I think my Kirby would get probably my hair as like a little feature,
Yeah.
and then maybe a little snake on one of his arms, just like a little snake that he could like use
'Cause
as
you're
like a
so
grappling
known-
hook.
You're so known for having your snake arm.
Yeah. I'm so known for using my snakes as grappling hooks and lassos and weapons.
Okay, if it's oh man. I don't know. I feel like you'd just be kind of a normal dude.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe he wouldn't have too many distinct traits. I guess
that's
he'd have
fair.
I guess he'd have a red hair. That's about
Mhm.
it. Maybe he'd turn red. He'd be like the colorful Kirby's. Do you ever see like other colored Kirby's in the games other than Super Smash Bros?
I think so.
Really?
I think so.
Oh.
Well, you see the other colored little other enemies.
Oh yeah.
Well, now we're talking about Kirby. We can talk about Mario.
oh
Is
yeah.
there bugs in Mario?
Okay, I tried to find bugs in Mario. I could only find one really good bug.
What is it?
The Wiggler.
So, have you seen the tweet?
Oh no.
So, the official Nintendo account, this was a couple years ago,
Oh wait.
tweeted a picture of Wiggler on their Twitter and said they were intending to say,
I know you.
yeah, they were intending to say, it's Wiggler Wednesday or something. They forgot the L in Wiggler. And I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to let you piece together how unfortunate of a slip that was for an official account of a big corporate company to make. And then they immediately deleted the tweet.
You gotta praise the people who were able to capture that. like,
so good.
before it
So
happened.
good.
You know, you think about how many people there are in the world, and then you take that number, how many people have access to the internet
Mhm.
on a daily basis, and then how many of those people spend all day on the internet,
Yeah.
and then the websites and whatnot. There's so many people on like, especially these main platforms, who are just able to like lightning fast
Screenshot receipts.
Yeah, like collect things that people do.
Yeah.
Like there's people who like Twitch streamers and, you know, Instagram videos and whatnot who accidentally show like a credit card.
Mm-hmm.
or
Immediately
something for-
people are buying like a bouncy house.
And it's like how did you put that, like how did you get it that quick and then use it that quickly?
It's insane.
It's
Some
really
people are
quickly.
wild on
You
the
know-
internet.
You know what's something that I actually would love to have access to? I don't think I'd do anything with it because I think I'd be dumb. I'd probably get myself in trouble. But I would love to just kind of poke around on the dark web. Yeah.
I'd be way too scared.
Yeah, I think
I've seen that video game called the dark web. It's scary.
I've seen a lot of the creepypasta videos
Oh.
of dark web stuff, or just, you know, the Reddit stories.
Now that we're talking about it, they're gonna come after us.
Oh my. Well, yeah, they can probably find. That's the thing. There's always someone better. Is like, you know, there's always someone better at something
Mhm.
than anyone else, and it's just a continuous loop, right? Well, if there's someone who's really good at computers and hacking and whatnot, and they're working for, let's say, like the good guys, which
It's debatable
is
who that
debatable,
might
but
be.
let's just say it's like a who's looking out for people, like
Mhm.
privacy. There's always going to be someone who can get past that.
Oh yeah.
There's always going to be someone, and there's going to be a way to do it. And so everything that's online is just so easily available. Like if there's
Yeah.
someone on the dark web, I don't know who would do it. I don't know why you'd do it. But let's say that someone paid someone else on the dark web money to find out who you and I are. They could do it in like
Oh, easy
2 seconds.
peasy.
Yeah. They could trace the
And they could find this episode and
They
be
could
like,
find this episode.
they're not talking about bugs anymore.
they're
They're talking about us now.
talking about me. Oh,
I was
man.
featured. I was
Do you-
featured.
okay, that brings me to a thought. Do you ever have this this line of, or this train of thoughts where you're thinking about a situation, whether you're having an imaginary argument in the shower that could have gone better or whatnot, or you're thinking about what you're going to tell someone.
Yeah.
And then in that process of thought, you think about telling them when you were thinking about telling them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it kind of gets into this loop, and you're like, oh man, that'd be so weird if I told them that I was thinking about talking to them about this at this time. And now that I'm thinking about talking.
Yeah.
I feel like I do that so often.
Yeah.
I'm a weirdo,
yeah. You're a weird guy.
Yeah.
So like, obviously bugs and stuff.
Oh,
but
yeah.
after doing all my research and talking about the bugs I wanted to talk about, I realized that like the 4 or whatever examples I've already read, they're all crabs. They're all crabs. And then I started thinking, are crabs bugs? Like at first you want to say no, and then you think about it.
They're the bugs of the water world.
Right.
Yeah.
Except for like sea spiders and other things.
Getting an unknown call.
It's the dark web.
Oh my god, it's him. Should I pick it up?
Us. No. But I realized that everything I was talking about was a crab, and then I was like, are crabs bugs? But bug is a very objective term when you think about it.
I'm pretty sure it has a pretty clear definition.
It does not. Because
Are you sure?
So what I found, generally it refers to land arthropods with at least 6 legs. So that includes insects, spiders, centipedes. But that still excludes snails and worms and like slugs that we call bugs.
I've never looked at a worm and thought that's a bug. Or a snail.
But like they're in the category of bug.
Are they?
So also isopods. Isopods are not arthropods. They are crustaceans. And so we call them bugs. And so by that logic, crabs are bugs.
It says, according to Google, on the Weberman T-Papa, strictly speaking, a bug is an insect.
Wrong.
In the group of
spiders are bugs.
Hemiptera.
Spiders are bugs. By that definition, spiders are not bugs. They are. Arachnids and insects are different. Bug is just a very... You remember when we were talking about... In biology, we were talking about... what was it called when things were grouped together by... Not taxonomy, it was the other thing.
What, by species or
no,
family?
they were grouped together by like general appearance things. It was non-scientific.
Yeah.
Clade. That's what it is. So it's like the clade is bug. And it includes insects, arachnids, what are slugs and
they're their own thing.
They're not cephalopods, they're something else.
They're slug.
Slug. And then also I would put crustaceans in there because shrimp, that's a bug, dude. Have you seen a shrimp? That's a bug. And isopods are crustaceans. So I think that I'm valid in saying that crabs are bugs.
I don't know. I feel like I have this weird complex because I don't think of a bug as having something with, it doesn't have meat, you know?
Girl, people eat grasshoppers all the time.
I know, but
we dissected grasshoppers in biology. There was a juiciness happening.
I'm not saying that it doesn't, like you can't eat a bug because it doesn't have meat. I'm saying that like bugs, when I think of bug, I don't think of something that has meat
like
on
muscly, like...
Yeah, it has an exoskeleton and then it's filled with all this goop and gunk.
That's fair. I just feel like isopods are such an outlier, and that's the bridge that allows me to connect these dots.
The isopod?
Yeah.
That's the one?
Yeah.
I feel like, do you think that it's, because according to you said it was something on land that has 6 legs.
Right.
Do you think that when crabs are on land, someone's like, oh,
they
bug,
are a bug.
And then it scuttles into the water and they're like, oh, crab.
Potentially. I feel justified in saying that crabs are bugs.
Like jumping between the 2 state lines. It's like, oh, I'm in, you know.
I was talking about that the other day, but about time zones.
Oh yeah.
Like, is my phone gonna change time if I'm stepping in between 2 states that have different time zones?
It could.
That'd be
I don't know what
road trip idea.
Defining line is. I think it's, oh man, that's a really good question because there's a line drawn somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And do you think that your phone is able to detect it on such a small scale? Or
I
is it
don't
kind
know.
of like it's broken up into these 24-hour sections and the lines are a little fuzzy? So once you get like maybe a mile into the time zone, then it would
I think it's
change.
probably like a gradient, like you're saying.
Yeah, I think so. Or it has a certain limit
Yeah.
before it changes,
Mhm.
going between the two.
Mhm.
Time is such an interesting thing. It's really cool to think about because, I mean, obviously the time zone, you know, you can go backwards in time, even if you're not
Right.
going backwards in time. There's a really funny joke. I forgot where I heard it, but it was on another podcast, and credit to whoever said it because I can't remember.
Mhm.
But they were talking about 9/11, and they said, "Do you think that when it happened, they called up Australia? It was like, why didn't you tell us?"
That's a pretty good joke. Bro, why didn't you tell us that was gonna happen?
Why didn't you tell us that was gonna happen, man? It's been 2 hours for you.
That's pretty funny.
But no, I always like that idea. And then I feel like I see a lot of Neil deGrasse Tyson videos talking about time where,
Yeah.
oh, you're on Earth and then you have a twin and he flies off into space for 5 years and then comes back. You know, you're 40 years old and he's only, 5 years older or something.
Yeah.
The math is definitely wrong.
Time is insane.
Time is insane. You know what's really cool?
What?
If crabs qualify as bugs, I'm
Right.
assuming lobsters do too.
I would consider.
Yeah.
They look more buggy than crabs because they have antenna at least.
That's true. I feel like claws kind of throw me off. I mean, scorpions.
Scorpions.
Yeah, scorpions have claws.
Tailless whip scorpion, my favorite bug. Big claws.
But anyway, lobsters can theoretically live forever.
Yeah, they can.
Yeah.
As long as they survive their molts.
Yeah, which always made me wonder, how does that work? Do
Molting?
you just grow a new shell or
So-
like new coating?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I know especially in snakes and lizards, there's a certain point during the shedding process that a liquid layer forms and separates the outer skin that you're shedding from the internal of your like body, your skin.
Yeah.
And then when that layer develops is when the skin underneath hardens and becomes the new layer and then the old layer sheds off. I think it's a little different for molting, but I assume it's a similar process to where you have
Is it painful for them? No.
it probably feels good.
So what's dangerous about it?
So there's a lot of things that can get stuck when you're molting or shedding.
Yeah.
So potentially your claw or your tail could get stuck in your old molt. And since you're really soft when you first molt, it can take those pieces of your body off or like tourniquet them off.
Oh.
And that can be very damaging.
So it's like it kind of hardens at the wrong spot
Yeah.
and then just
it
kind of
also takes a lot of energy for the organism. And if you're super old and like can't catch your own food and like do these things, if you don't have enough energy going into your molt, you'll probably just die of starvation.
I guess it's just a really difficult process.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, okay. So have you heard of the eternal soup?
I have not.
So it's basically just this, I don't know where they do it. It's just conversation that I've had with friends and I didn't really look too much into it. But it's this big bowl of soup and things are just added to it and people take from it and it keeps souping.
Yeah.
Like they just add enough to where it's still full
Right.
and it just keeps going. Apparently there's soups, the forever soup has been going on for like over 100 years.
I would like to get a taste of this forever soup.
I know. I think that'd be a really good. I think it'd be really good soup. I would want to try it for sure.
But there'd be one guy that like peed in it to ruin it for everyone
And you're
else.
like, oh, I gotta wait 3 years for it to, re-soup
Yeah,
entirely.
yeah.
But do you think that if scientists really wanted to, they could take a really healthy lobster specimen and put him in a tank, maybe like in a little terrarium, and they kind of just help him whenever he
Yeah.
molts, and so they just try to keep this one lobster alive for hundreds of years.
I think that potentially that could happen.
You think so? I would love to see that.
But I think also at a certain point there is like organ failure involved with old age, so they can't process food the same they did.
I thought it had nothing to do with their
It might not. I don't know a lot
the
about
health of
lobsters.
their like capabilities and the fact that their organs and bodies deteriorate. I thought it was just the molting process. I thought it was as long as they can molt, then they can just keep on going. And it was the fact that they either get caught, killed, or died while molting is the fact that they that cutoff happens.
It could very well be.
We're kind of moving away from bugs.
We are.
You know what? Okay, it doesn't really look like a lobster. It's red like a lobster.
What?
I'll give you. Do you want to try to guess the game that it's from?
Sure.
I'll try to describe the animal
Sure.
or the bug,
Sure.
and you give a guess. All right. It's kind of shaped like a teardrop.
Okay.
It has 2 eyes,
Okay.
fangs,
The Bulbo from Pigman.
Bulblacks.
Bulbo.
Bulblacks. That's what it is.
Bulbasaur. I'm just kidding. The guy from Pikmin. The guy with the fangs and the eyes and the
Bulblacks
he looks
is
like
such a unique.
He's so silly.
It's such a unique thing because, well, first it's just a really fun design. You know, I mean, it's kind of like
he's so
it's kind of
silly.
like a kid type oriented
He looks like
game.
a strawberry.
He does look like a strawberry, but it's kind of a more cartoony style
Bulborb.
and detailed game, and so they really nailed the head, nailed the nail on the head,
Hit the nail on the
hit the
head.
nail on the head for that design.
They're
and then
so
the fact
silly.
that
I love them.
they just ran with it more in the later games, and they just made different variations of them, and they each had like different properties and traits to them.
So something I love about Pikmin.
Yeah.
First of all, everything in Pikmin is pretty much a bug. Like,
Yeah,
'Cause
there's a
you're on
lot-
that
there's a lot-
tiny,
well, I mean, they
tiny
have
scale.
frogs. They have,
yeah,
like,
they have birds.
the elephant things
Mhm.
spit fire at you.
But they have a lot that are just bugs.
They do have a lot of bugs.
But something I love about Pikmin, especially in the latest Pikmin 4, if I don't know if this is true for the other games, I think it is.
I've played Pikmin 1 and 2 all the way through. I haven't played Pikmin 3, and I haven't played Pikmin 4.
But if you go and like you discover an enemy
Mhm.
and then you get it in like your little encyclopedia. If you go in there, they have like facts, they have a scientific name,
Yeah.
they have the genus and species and other related I think that's so cool, dude.
Yeah, it's really interesting. It's
Games
really nice.
don't do that. And I love when games do that because I'm a scientist by nature. So the fact that they have them organized in taxonomic groups makes me so happy. And some of the Greek is even like, or Latin even, is like accurate and descriptive in the way that real taxonomy is. I think it's so neat.
That's kind of interesting.
Mhm.
Do you think that there's this whole different, you know, I mean, they have you can break up all of Earth's species.
The big tree.
The big tree, yeah. Do you think they have that for the Pikmin universe? Or
Phylogenetic.
They're like slowly building it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's really great.
It's like people did that with Avatar too. Not the bugs, the creatures in Avatar, the movie, the Blue People movie.
Yeah.
They created like a hypothetical phylogenetic tree of all the species. I think that's so neat.
I think it's really interesting. It's really nice when they put a lot of effort into stuff like small
Yeah.
details that they can be overlooked, and then if you're not really into the game that way and you're just kind of
It makes
playing
me
to play
so
it.
happy.
But the small details like that, I feel like there was another game that I played that did that,
Probably.
and I'm trying to remember what it was. It was like you take a picture of the enemy and then it.
Is it? No, it's not. Legend of Zelda.
No, I don't think
It's not Breath of the
Zelda.
Wild. You said take a picture of, and I was like, oh,
No, I think it's. I mean, Pokemon does that.
they have the Pokédex. So I have another reason to prove my point on why crabs are bugs. 2 Pokemon.
Okay.
Shuckle,
Shuckle. I love Shuckle.
Dwebble.
Dwebble. Another.
Both of
great
them
one.
are bug types.
Wait, am I thinking of the right Schweckle?
Yeah, the one where he's in the red shell and he has like noodle arms and he's yellow.
Yes.
So he is like totally based on like a crab or some sort of like mollusk or something.
Schweckle is?
Well, I guess he's a turtle,
I was gonna say he definitely looks more turtley.
but something about him like is described crab. Why is he bug type then?
Is he bug type?
He is bug type.
He is. He's bug and rock.
He's
That's
based
so
on a turtle.
interesting.
He's bug type.
He doesn't look like. I mean, maybe it's. Well, no, because he doesn't even have like an exoskeleton.
No.
It's like a shell.
Yeah,
He's living in this rock. Maybe it's more. No, I was gonna
it's like
say
a worm
oyster.
living in an apple.
It's like a worm in an apple.
But
yeah, but if you saw
Dwebble,
a worm in
Dwebble.
an apple, you wouldn't be like. Oh,
Dwebble is
bug.
a crab through and through. There is no way that you can tell me Dwebble is not a crab.
Oh yeah.
So that also reminds me that hermit crabs are
Yes.
like not true crabs. They're like something else.
Really?
Yeah.
What are they? If they're not, I'm being look at a hermit crab and look at a crab. You're like, that's pretty similar.
They are crustaceans. They're decapod crustaceans, but they
Yeah.
are not a part of like the true crab family or something. It's very interesting.
Huh. I never really thought of it. Do you know what's really really fun thing that I heard about? I don't remember when I heard it, but hermit crabs. There's this species of them, and I don't know where it is. I think it was on the BBC that they talked about it, but it was this. It's kind of this congregation of hermit crabs.
Mhm.
I don't know if all of them do this, but they line up based on shell size, and then they all swap shells.
Oh, that's really wholesome. I love hermit crabs.
It's really fun. But then eventually there's one that like kind of sneaks in and like takes one and breaks the order, and then everyone's just scrambling for
Kill
a new
that
shell
one
at that
crab.
point. No, I mean, there's a reason there's a saying crabs in a bucket.
Yeah.
It's because, crabs just pull each other down.
Yeah, they do.
It's unfortunate.
But Dwebble is a bug type, and he is for sure a crab.
Yes.
And that is more evidence to my fact that crabs should be considered bugs.
I mean, it's a pretty good. I mean, you are basing it off of Pokemon.
Yeah, I am.
So,
You gonna argue with me?
No, I don't want to.
But also, bug type is like such a weird like category to choose.
It really is. Bugs.
Because
like you said, it's very open.
Yeah, it's super open to interpretation. And also every other Pokemon type is like elemental. Like fire, water, electric, even like grass, like dragon to a certain extent could be considered elemental. Fairy, dark. Like these are all
dark.
Dark is like an element, like shadow.
The shadow's not an element.
Shadow and light. Those are elements, my guy.
Shadow is okay, light is not an element, and shadow is not a light.
They're seen as like elemental things. Not like pure elements. Like elemental properties. Like this guy has electric powers and that guy has dark powers and
dark powers.
This guy has bug
the
powers.
shadows. You're basically the guy from Princess and the Frog. If you have shadow powers.
That's pretty cool though.
Yeah, I mean,
it's pretty wizard.
It is pretty wizard. He was kind of a shaman.
Bug is such a because that's like a whole descriptor in its own. Like,
Bug.
yeah, it's like that's what a creature is. You can't say that a creature is fire. Fire is not like a creature, but bug is.
Well, I mean, it's fire type.
Right.
If we're talking about Pokemon now.
Yeah.
Fire type.
I know.
Get it right.
I know. But you can like look at other stuff and say creatures that are definitively like bug. And you can't do that with other elements. That's not a thing.
I don't know. There's definitely some creatures in Pokemon. If we're talking about Pokemon, there are some things in Pokemon
I'm
that you
talking about
look
in
at
real
and you're
life.
like, oh, that's definitely that.
I'm talking about in real life.
In real life?
Yeah. There's not a thing you can look except maybe like a fish. You're like, that's water. But it's just weird because bugs are such a thing in real life, and everything in Pokemon is very much like elemental based.
Yeah.
Bug is just a weird type, but there's some cool bug types out there.
There are some really cool
There
bug
are
types
no legendary bug type Pokemon.
Wait, really?
There are only Ultra Beasts, which are technically not legendaries.
I didn't
depending
even
on
know
who.
that there was a category of Ultra Beast in Pokemon. I thought it was just Pokemon and then legendary Pokemon.
There's also mythical Pokemon.
What do they do? Like, what's their specialty? Like,
I don't know.
where do they fall in the chain
The
of
tier
command?
list.
Yeah, the tier list.
I think they're right below legendary.
Oh, so they're just unique.
Yeah.
They're rare.
Yeah.
Huh.
But it's like there's no legendary bug type, which is so sad.
If you could make a legendary bug type, what would be your ideal design for this?
Ooh, I would want to pick like I think it's like a scorpion. Yeah, crab. I think like something of a scorpion would be cool. Are there any scorpion Pokemon?
Oh, there has to be.
That sounds so familiar, but I can't. Skorupi. He's a scorpion.
Skorupi? I don't think I've ever seen this. There's so many Pokemon now.
There's 1,000 of them.
Really?
There are quite legitimately 1,000 Pokemon.
Okay, I feel like there was a point in Pokemon where it was the first couple generations. They were really unique. They were really cool. And then it got to this point where they you could tell they were running out of steam.
ideas.
And so they were just they took a refrigerator and gave it a name.
Well, I think some of the new Pokemon are like really cool, actually. Like
Yeah.
people will always be like, "Oh, the new Pokemon suck." It's like,
it was like that the hump.
yeah,
They got to this point and they kind of started to plateau.
Yeah.
And oh man, we really got to think of some more stuff. And all the people who had been there had already thought of everything.
yeah.
And then all these new people enter the previous people kind of got that Jimmy Neutron brain blast
Yeah.
moment. And then they started pumping out these really cool ones again.
Bangers.
Yeah, they're really bangers.
you-
But
have
I don't know any of them. That's the thing. Like
Yeah.
you could show me a random cartoon and be like, that's a Pokemon.
Okay, girl, I believe
Okay.
you.
That's crazy. What is that?
Some people have a theory that Pokemon type weaknesses are like based on things that make sense.
Yeah.
Like some of them obviously make sense because like fire will burn grass, right? Water puts out fire. Like that makes sense. But like psychic and fighting is like mind over matter. There's things that are a little bit more obscure. And so for
Are you talking about
type matchups.
Type matchup?
Yeah.
Okay.
So for some, like fairy versus dark makes sense because it's like light versus dark. You know, some of them make
as far as
sense,
which
some
one
of them
has
don't.
advantage
Right,
over the other
yeah.
one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So for bug, its type weaknesses are fire,
Yeah, that makes sense.
rock,
That makes sense.
flying,
A little less sense.
and poison.
And poison. For
They-
bugs?
Yeah,
I feel like bugs would be the poison.
that could be the case. But so I wrote down like reasons for all of these. Rock makes sense because
I think that flying is because
birds
birds
eat bugs.
Yeah, birds
Yes.
eat bugs.
That's what I wrote down. So birds eat bugs. That's flying type. You squish bug with rock. That's rock.
That's right. That's like, you know, caveman rule number 38.
38.
You know,
Squish bug with rock.
I would love to hear the top 10 caveman rules.
I would too.
You know,
Ooga booga. Unga bunga.
that would be really
The
good.
third one?
Ooh, I love. There's a hooked on a feeling.
Yeah.
There's a
Ooga
there's a
chaka.
really really derpy looking cartoon where it's this imagine you're inside of a cave looking outside, right? Inside the cave you have one caveman who's curled up on the floor with his hands over his ears and he's crying and he's trying to go to sleep. And then you look through the cave entrance outside in the distance, you see a fire and you see 3 other cavemen dancing to the beginning of that
That's great.
song. I remember seeing that and I thought it was so funny. I sent it to my friend group chat because I was like, this is
the funniest thing I've ever seen.
I was like, this is exactly how it is. You know, when we were kids and we'd have sleepovers.
Yeah.
There's one person that we would always point out and be like, oh, that's you.
Yeah.
And it's just because it's so true. Like they'd be like, guys, I want to go to bed. And we'd be like, let's go do something. You know, I
Yeah.
love that type of energy. I miss that kid energy, but oh well.
I think fire type also makes sense because
Oh, back to Pokemon.
yeah,
Yeah.
because fire would definitely kill a bug.
Fire makes sense. Fire would, you know, mess up.
I was thinking of wildfires specifically in that sense. The one that you
What, do
kind
you
of
think wildfire has more effect on bugs than normal fire?
well, you're not going to use normal fire when you see a bug in your house.
No,
to
you never
kill
take
it.
like a lighter and a can
No,
of hairspray.
it's like ksh. No,
Get out
but
your Elon Musk
so-
flamethrower.
poison.
Get out!
Get out of my house! Poison is the one you scoffed at. Pesticides and tenting houses to clear
Yeah.
them for bugs.
Okay, that makes
Poison.
That makes more
Bug
sense.
poison.
I can see that.
So
relation.
those all make sense to me. What's your favorite bug type Pokemon that you can think of?
Dude, I would need a list. I can't just pull one
Just
off the
think
top
of
of the head.
one.
I do
that you
really
think
like.
is neat.
I do really like Shuckle and Dwebble.
Those are good ones.
Those are really good ones. Hold on, let me look up a quick list of bug type Pokemon.
I think my favorite.
Yeah, you're asking me yours. You haven't even.
I think my favorite. I have 3 written down. I really like Galissapod. He's cool.
Blizzapod, yeah.
I
He's a
like
pretty fun guy.
Centiskorch. Is a really recent one. He's
Okay.
a fire centipede, and Araquanid, which is sun and moon, water spider. Very cool. Very good names on all those.
Oh my gosh, I'm looking at a list and there are
A lot.
a lot. Not actually as many as I thought there was gonna be.
Bug type. I think it's tied for like the weakest.
Well, yeah, they have
In the
what is it?
game or
There's
something.
4. They have disadvantage.
They
on
have the
4
they have the
different-
lowest I think stat total on average
Aw.
or something like that.
Poor guys. If you could be any Pokemon, which one would you want to be?
A legendary. I would want to be like Lugia or something.
Lugia?
Yeah, Lugia's awesome.
Yeah. With the
If
name
you were
like
if you could be
Lugia?
Mewtwo,
Lugia.
you could be like
Sounds like a booger.
talking to Lugia.
Hold on, I got a Lugia to clear up.
If you could be Mewtwo, you could probably continue to be integrated in society because you're human enough.
I feel like you could see the same for Mr. Mime.
I hate Mr. Mime.
Mr. Mime
He's scary.
gets around apparently.
If they
Have you
did a
seen
bug
that?
type Mr. Mime, how scary would that be?
I feel like
He's
he would
got
just look
8
like Mr.
arms.
Mime but with maybe more eyes.
Yeah, and arms.
Or like some antenna. you
Yeah.
know? I think after looking at some of the lists of bug type Pokemon, I think Shuckle's still my favorite.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
Shuckle's great.
There is one thing I wanted to talk about, which is
Sorry, my chair is
the
kinda
idea that
squeaky.
like why are people scared of why are bugs seen as like scary and gross? Because if you think about games, bugs are like the enemy. You
Yeah.
never play as a bug. Bugs, you never befriend the bugs. It's always like,
That's not true. I mean, this isn't a game, but Ant-Man, he's Mr. Bug.
that's because he can talk to them.
Yeah.
But it was just, bugs are usually enemies, right? Like everything we've talked about is an enemy in game, except for Lamar, who loves watermelon.
Yeah.
But
we all love Lamar.
It's kind of a thing where in horror games, in Resident Evil 7, there's a lady who like spits bugs at you and stuff, and it's disgusting. But it's an instinctual thing with humans, because bugs are indicators of like unsanitary or unsafe conditions.
Yeah.
Right. If you think of it like bugs on a dead body, it's like, don't eat that.
Oh.
Bugs in your apple, don't eat that. You'll get sick and die. Or like think venomous bugs. It's kind of an instinctual thing of like,
I don't want to ruin your train of thought here, but I was just looking at notable bug type trainers.
Yeah.
And there's an Aaron who's in the Elite Four.
Does he look like you?
No, he has like green hair.
Oh, that sounds pretty cool. What game?
It didn't say. Gen 4. What is Gen 4?
Is that Platinum? No.
Mm-hmm.
That's Fire Red, Leaf Green, Soul Silver, Hard Gold.
I wish I could click on him. It's not really letting me.
I don't remember. I think that is Gen 4 is Platinum. Or not Maybe it is Platinum. I don't remember. Diamond
and Pearl?
Diamond, Pearl, Platinum.
Yeah, I think it is Diamond and Pearl.
Well, good for you. You made it.
Yay, I did it. I'm in the Elite Four. Anyway, we were talking about...
Bug scary.
Bug scary.
A lot of people are scared of
I think
bugs.
It's because bugs are something that you really can't control.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of them. They're like a swarm. And I think they're seen as just overall like a bad omen.
Yeah.
Like the plagues of Egypt. There was the locusts. Like that's just...
You heard the song from the movie?
Oh yeah,
that's a good song.
That's apparently that's a good song.
They should play that song after this episode.
No, but I think it's because bugs are seen as just like they're a lower life form and they reside in these really gross, disgusting areas. So therefore they are that.
Yeah.
And I think it's because they're really, I mean, we can appreciate how they look, but not everyone does. And note that they are in these really gross areas a lot of the time. What they eat is generally dead stuff or stuff that's left over. Gross stuff. You leave out something, there's a bug on it. You're like, oh, I don't want that.
There's a bug in my drink. Ugh.
Yeah, exactly. We don't know where that bug's been. And you just take those things and put them together. And then you add them like the small swarm effect of it. It takes the kind of... Because bees, you don't look at bees and think, oh, gross. It's
gross
bees.
Bug. You're scared of them because they can hurt you.
Exactly. And it's because of just how they act. They're buzzing around you. They're hard to hit. They're aggressive, and you kind of just associate most bugs that are around you with that, and so they're just kind of a pest.
Yeah,
too. They're just annoying.
I think
you see a bug and you're like, something about my environment is no longer sanitary.
Yeah, exactly. I found it very interesting that in all the games that we're looking at, they're all enemies. Even in Ark, we love Ark. We play Ark.
Yeah.
All you can't tame. They're like one of the only untamable things in the game.
The bugs?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, you can tame the spiders and the scorpions, but you can't tame like the ants. And the
smaller ones,
the dragonflies.
They just don't have that higher level of thought.
Yeah, can't knock them out. Feed them some rotten meat. Make them your bestie.
If you knock out a bug, it's just dead.
Yeah, you could put flies in the freezer or bees in the freezer and tie a little string to them, and now they're on a leash. That's like a thing that people do.
Yeah, that's really cruel to it's really funny, but it's really cruel to that actual bug.
Yeah.
How different do you think the world would be if you could talk to bugs? Like if
I would love it.
Because it's like a cartoon. You're watching Adventure Time. There's the dancing bug. Jake walks out. He's like, oh, a dancing bug. And then he's like, hold on, man, you're shaking it all wrong. You do it like this. And then he starts dancing, and then the bug stops and watches. And then the bug starts dancing like that. It's so good. It's like, do you think that how different do you think the world would be if everything had that higher level of sentience?
It'd be great. I would love it.
Do you think that everyone, because there's obviously people, animal rights and whatnot. Do you think that they'd be fighting for everything to have equal?
Probably.
That would be so hard. That'd be impossible to do.
How do you have equal rights for worms and ants and things that get stepped on?
Exactly.
Cockroaches. They have a right to be in my kitchen.
They're squatters. Get them out. They're not paying rent.
A lot of people say that about spiders. They find a spider in their house and you're like, okay, so you were living here without paying rent?
You see, I don't actually mind spiders.
My mom has a spider in one of her windows.
Yeah.
In her kitchen that she doesn't get rid of because it eats all the flies.
I was gonna say,
And I'm like, symbiosis, girl.
Spiders get rid of a lot of smaller bugs that you just don't see.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we talked about it on the other podcast. You're like, there's probably 100 bugs in
Yeah,
this
I
room
did
that
say
you don't
that.
see. And
I love it.
But if I saw one spider, I'd be like, there's less bugs because
Yeah,
of that
yeah.
man right there,
It's great.
and I can appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
So I just, I let them be.
Yeah. What? One more thing I wanted to cover.
Yes,
Out of
that's
all-
probably going to be
yeah,
the last
last
thing that we're
point.
covering.
Out of all the bugs that we've just talked about, so we're gonna talk about head crab, cave
Yeah.
crawler,
Yeah.
Pikmin bugs,
Yep.
Halo bugs,
Halo bugs.
that one lady from Resident Evil 7, Pokemon.
That spits bugs.
Which of these do you think you could beat in a fight?
Bug spitter. Oh man.
Because I'll give you time to think. I think I could beat head crabs and cave crawlers because they're little.
Yeah.
I don't think I could beat any Pokemon bugs. Maybe like Metapod.
N-
But
Metapod, you just pick them up and throw them.
I know they're little, but even the littlest of bug types can they can mess you up, dude.
Some of them, there's like that spider one that's electric.
Yeah, it's like you die.
Yeah.
So I don't think I could beat any of the Pokemon.
Pokemon's a dangerous world.
Resident Evil 7, I don't think I could beat that lady in a fight. She was really scary.
I have no reference for what she is. Or
I
who
think
she
that I
is.
could beat anything in Pikmin because proportionally they're all smaller than my foot.
I was gonna say in Pikmin, Olimar is less. He's smaller than a D battery.
Yeah, he's like teeny tiny.
He's
So I think
teeny-tiny.
anything in Pikmin I could beat.
I think I could.
Halo, I don't think I could beat the bugs.
I think I agree with you with the head crawlers and the cave bug from Subnautica. What's this? What do you remember the Resident Evil bug lady's name is?
Marguerite Baker.
Marguerite Baker.
Yep.
Okay, if you
She's-
look that up, you just get a bald woman.
Do Resident Evil 7.
Oh, there. Okay. Oh, yeah, she's kind of like your typical hag.
Yeah.
Can I
And
get
then
I need like a full body shot just to see what
she
I'm fighting.
spits bugs at you. She's got superhuman strength.
Ew. Yeah, she's kind of got like a weird front bug thing.
Yeah,
going
yeah,
on.
yeah.
Does everything in Resident Evil have superhuman
Pretty
strength?
much.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that canon?
Yeah.
Is it just because they're infected or whatever?
Yeah.
With the virus?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what the Resident Evil lore is here. Well, in that case, I don't know. I think if you gave me something, I could take her.
That's true.
I think if you gave me
Like a gun.
yeah, I think if you give me a gun, I could take her. Obviously, I think even if you give me like a machete,
That's fair.
I could do that. Okay. Yeah, okay, I could definitely take the head crab. I could
Mhm.
definitely take the cave crawler. I think with assistance with an item of choosing, I could definitely take this lady,
Mm-hmm.
Miss Bug. The Yanmei, I think it's the same. I think if I had even if I had a gun, they're so quick
Yeah.
and they just
You
they
die.
they die. They pull you away and then you'd
Mhm.
be lost forever. I think if I had a gun, I have a fair chance. I think
That's
I have
fair.
I think I have a 50-50 chance if I have a gun. I wouldn't want to fight one. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I might be able to take one. The Wiggler. Oh, from Mario. How big is the Wiggler from
They
Mario?
get big. I feel like
Because how big is Mario? Mario's supposed to be like 6
you
foot.
can
isn't
jump.
he?
You've seen the ones in Mario Kart. Those Wigglers can come in different sizes.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
But I think if all you have to do is get on top of them and jump on them, as long as you don't get stomped, I think I could beat one.
Mario's 5'1".
Little.
Little man.
I think I could beat a Wiggler.
How? Let's see. I think it'll depend on how big it is.
All you gotta do is just not get stomped on and then jump on them 3 times.
Wiggler's about twice as tall as Mario, so he's 10 feet tall.
That's length.
That's height.
Oh. Ooh. I don't know if I could get up on it.
No, I don't think because you have to stomp on his head.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if you give me a ladder.
If you give me a ladder, I can beat Wiggler.
I have to set it up really quickly as he's going by, yeah, and then hop on top. I don't know. I think if I just have to kill it like Mario, I think I might be able to with a ladder.
I think so.
Without, I don't think I could get on top of him.
No, I don't think so
I think
either.
I'd get trampled.
Yeah.
What else? What was the other?
Pokemon. That's the other one. And
Oh.
Pikmin, but
Pokemon?
Pikmin's self-explanatory. You just step on them.
No. Well, actually, I think I could kill a Pokemon if I had the drop on it.
You think so?
I think if I had, I think if I was able to sneak up on it and I could get it down quick.
And it didn't have anything that could like automatically kill you, like electric shock or like fire on its body.
Well, none of them. Not
Can't
a lot
sneak
of
up
them,
on
I
a
don't think.
macargo.
A what?
Macargo?
What is a macargo?
He's a snail that's the heat of the sun.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't want to get near that guy.
No.
That's for sure. Have you seen the thing that Ash is just superhuman?
Yeah, because he carries Larvitar on his shoulder, and Larvitar's like 200 pounds or
Yeah.
something.
Well, there's like a picture of him. He's holding his
Cosmog.
arm is his arms are outstretched and he's holding his Pokemon. And this Pokemon is like
600
300
pounds.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
something
crazy. But yeah, I think if I had to drop on a Pokemon,
That's fair.
I could take it.
That's fair.
What was the other one? I feel like I'm forgetting.
I think that might have been it.
I think that might have been it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I guess we're kind of getting towards the end of this
Yeah.
episode. I guess what I want to do is I want to run through some other bugs.
Do it.
Just real quick. Just name them off. Ready? So Minecraft, you got
Spider.
The spider. Does Endermite count as a
It's
as
a mite.
bug? It's a mite, yeah. In Terraria,
Tons.
tons of bugs. Yeah, queen bee, hornet, the desert bugs like the
Mhm.
Antilian and stuff. You have the spiders, like the crawlers,
Yeah.
the derpling, the little
I love that guy.
I love that guy. He's a funny little man. The moths, Mothra. You have a few other baby moth.
Mm-hmm.
You get into Pikmin. You have other things. Everything is basically a bug in that
I
game.
love Pikmin.
The armored cannon beetle.
He's a great.
These are more the bosses.
Mm-hmm.
The beady long legs. The burrowing. He's not a bug, but I love him because he's the
He's
bird.
the snake with the
No, he's the bird.
snake-necked stork that
Yeah.
comes out of the ground. Yeah.
Yeah. So in the first Pikmin, I don't know if he does it in the other Pikmin games, but in the very first Pikmin game, when you fight him, whenever you hurt him, he lets out the classic cartoon chicken bacaw noise, and it's
That's really funny.
so much fun to listen to when you're fighting him because you get this drop on him with the Pikmin. He's just like,
That's so good.
and then Legend of Zelda. There's a lot.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot in the Legend of Zelda. You have, I think these are more from Twilight Princess than
Mhm.
actually, did you know, because you never played Legend of Zelda,
I have
did you?
not.
In Twilight Princess, there is a whole side quest of the game throughout the entire game where you're going around and you're collecting glowing golden bugs.
I love it.
And that's
Sign me up.
and I'm telling you, there are a lot of these bugs.
Sign me
and
up.
most of them are in very specific places.
I love it.
Like you only find these bugs in these places, and they each have their own. Like they're not just like a circle that says bug number 1, bug
Mhm.
number 2. You pick one up and it looks like a little beetle. You pick up another one, it looks like a little anteater.
Oh, I
or
love
not anteater,
that.
but stick bug. You pick up one, it looks like the
Rhinoceros beetle.
Yeah, the rhinoceros beetle.
I love
you pick
that.
Up others, it looks like a cockroach. It's just small stuff like that. But you have other things like the Tiktite, which is kind of like the derpling from
Mhm.
Terraria. They hop around. They have baby Goma.
Baby Goma.
Babuguma, which is like a spider. The chew worm, it's like this little bug that resides in a bubble, and he kind of
Oh.
controls the bubble. You have to get rid of it to kill him. You have the young Goma spider.
Oh, his son.
One of the funniest things in a lot of the Legend of Zelda games, the bomb skit. It's imagine just
I think I know what you're talking about.
it's literally just imagine a ball with